All right, thank y'all for tuning in to the Art of the Interception. We're here with another special guest, Bryant McKinnie. You know, Big Mac, they call him. I mean, he won a Super Bowl and he won a college championship. Welcome, B Mac, man.
Thanks for having me.
What up, bro? Happy to have you here, man. And just get right into it, man. Let's get right into it, man. I'm gonna talk about the legendary fight. I don't know if anybody talked about the fight, but just in general, man, you had a few altercations on the beach. Right?
Yeah, so which fight we talking about? South Beach?
Yeah, we're gonna get to it, but that helps it out because you had a few altercations, right? A few, right? So, yeah, I mean, he has a few altercations, meaning like running.
I didn't know if you was referencing like college because we had, University of Miami in Florida got into a fight,
right,
at the Sugar Bowl, and then I think you're talking about the Shannon Briggs one, right?
Right.
All right.
So yeah, we're gonna get into all that because I'm like, my next thing is like, how big this guy is. Like, you see how big this guy? Like, who in their right mind would wanna try you? So he just mentioned it, Shannon Briggs, man. He had a legendary fight that the rumors been spreading around Miami for the longest. Everybody heard about it. But not too many people seen it. Shannon Briggs is a heavyweight champion boxer. I mean, will knock your head off. You understand what I'm saying? He's been in multiple challenges, heavyweight fights, legendary fights, Lennox Lewis, and to name a few. But how did that fight transpire, man? What was going on?
We were out, me, Ed Reed, and I think Ed Wilkins. We were still in college. Everybody else was older. They were, the class ahead of us, they had just left. And we went out with them for a couple drinks. And another guy named Brian Stinson had got into an altercation somewhere in the club with Shannon Briggs and apparently got knocked out or something. I wasn't there. Ed Reed and I weren't there in that area. So they kind of gathered all of us and was like, oh, come on, somebody knocked out Stinson. Still don't know who it is at the time either. And then we just kind of like going with the flow, and then we going to the back door. And I always remember it was like a police officer. She said, "You looking for the guy who beat up your friend?" And they're like, "Yeah." And she like, he went out here and she opened the door and just let us go right out back.
She didn't give you no warning, nothing.
She just
who it was or anything.
I still didn't know who it was when we got outside. So all I knew, and what's funny about this story is because it comes back up later on during our Super Bowl season. Is we get out back. And then, like, he's out there along with one of his homeboys. And everybody kind of, like, stopped. And I was like, was that him? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah. He's like, who? It was almost like he was Debo out there, like, oh, who wants something like that? I was thinking, like, me, in my mind, I'm thinking this is just a big South Beach dude who, like, just swole on juice or some shit.
Right.
So I ain't really, like, I'm like, okay, so... I tell Reed, I said it was a smaller dude, that was with him. I said, you get the little dude, I'm gonna get the big dude, right? So Reed managed to get behind him, because there's a group of us, but everybody stopped. In my mind, I'm not recognizing who this is yet, you know what I mean? Right. And then Reed managed to get like to the side, and he just cleans out the friend, because the other friend was standing in front of him, like hands were moving all fast. I was like, man, stop for this. Ed, you get the small one. So Ed hit him, and then like, when they flew past, like in front, like, cause Shannon and I were right here, but the dude flew like that way, so we both kind of looked. And I had looked back, and he was still looking at the dude. I said, bah, bah, bah. And I rushed him, and they got him on the ground. And from there, it was like, everybody else came, while I got him on the ground. But when I first got him on the ground, I was hitting him, and he was like growling like, I was like, this nigga got to be on coke. Who is this? And he was growling as I was hitting him. And I'm like, damn, like, I really had to focus. We had a couple drinks. So I really had to focus in, like, who the hell is this
what is going
on the ground growling like this? And then, the other guys eventually came in and they started like kicking him and shit. And he kind of got up and like ran eventually. And I ran into him a few times afterwards. There's a club called Living Room. He always was kind of act like, he explained to me the story one time when he seen me. And I think he knows me, but he's like, yeah, I got into it with some guys. Nevy was with me. And I was like, oh, we can't drink too much tonight. Because now at this point, I know who he is. Like, I said, oh, shoot, we can't drink too much tonight. She like, I got you. I was like, man.
You gonna
What's crazy is the mindset be totally different when you don't know who it is. I ain't give a hell. Right. I ain't give a damn who it was. But then when I knew, I was like, oh, shoot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. They were like different. But that's crazy. It's better like not to know. Like, you know what I mean?
Because you're gonna go all, you went all
yeah,
out.
just gonna do what you're gonna do.
If you was like, man, this is a heavyweight
you'd be like hesitant and all that. Right.
Like, let me not do this. You know what I mean? But that goes to show you, man, every man, we put our pants on the same, man. So
and it's all mindset.
Yeah, it's all mindset. Yeah. So, being fearless, it takes you to another level, man. And being fearful, man,
make you hesitate, and that hesitation can cost you.
Nigga, cost you, man.
So while I was saying that, it goes back to so the year we were going to we were in the playoffs going to the year we actually won the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I had just came off the field, and randomly every gonna come up to me talking about, I got the little niggas, you get the big ones. I was busting out that, like, what made this man think about this? Like, I don't know. Like, we in the middle of the playoffs.
Gangstery, ain't know you was about that life, baby. Gangstery, hey, I fucks with you, baby, So, hey, if y'all ain't know about the legendary fight, man, Shannon Briggs versus Bryant McKinnie, man, it went right down on South Beach, man. Only a few people seen it, but a lot of people heard about it. But so he might not even still know about it.
I've seen him a few times since then. I think he may know. I'm pretty sure he's seen when Reed did the interview. Right. He probably figured it out. But shit, that was like 2001.
Yeah, let that go, man. Right. What's wrong with you, man? Nobody got time for that. So man, for a long time, man, I listened to the radio.
Oh yeah.
Probably ever since the guy got on there, right? So I'm on the radio, wondering about my NFL friends and how they doing and blah, blah, blah. I own the club, so I used to see then and blah, blah. So I'm like, on the radio, B Mac, blah, 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 Big Mac. I'm like, B Mac, Bryant McKinnie on the radio, he doing so good. Like, boy, I'm proud of him, Oh, boom. I'm meaning for I don't know how long. So how do you feel this? Do you feel like somebody came down here and just took over and invaded your property?
He from Jersey as well too, right?
Oh really?
Yeah, he came down. Everybody was texting me, man, they showing you love on the radio. I'm like, what? Right. Everybody hit me up around that time. I'm like, for what? Like, and I was lost for a minute because I wasn't really listening to the radio. You listen to your playlist or whatever, and then everybody just kept texting me like, man, what's going on? It's your birthday? I'm like, nah. And they're like, you gotta tune in. And tuned in, I kept hearing like Big Mac, and I'm like, and then even like Trina was confused for a minute too because she went to the station. Yeah, they're like Big Mac, like, and then he was going to events that we eventually met. He would go to events. They said B Mac was gonna be here. He's like, they're like, no, you ain't here. Like, so it was confusing for a minute, like. Both of us having that name was confusing, so then his radio Big Mac, but then we seen each other and we was like, nah, you Mac Jr. or something. Like, we got to call you something else. So that's always been like an ongoing thing. Right. He called me Bri or something like that when he see me. Like we tried to change each other's name. I call him Whopper or something.
Whopper. B-Whopper. All right, B-Whopper. So y'all did meet. Y'all cool. Yeah. Y'all still trying to figure out the name.
It was confusing for a while though, but now, people got acclimated. But when he first got here, everybody was kind of thrown off from you hearing, Big Mac and then on the radio and they thinking it's me, and then he knew, so nobody really knew him yet. Mm-hmm. So he was having these appearances places and people were like, well, where Big Mac at?
Right. You got to be the original Big Mac or something, man, because it's like, man,
his name has nothing to do with Big Mac. Like mine, like, like Bryant McKinnie. Like, so McKinney's always like gonna be the Mac, and then I'm big as hell, so big. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So y'all can both have y'all two lanes, is what you saying?
Even at one point he was gonna do something. Back when they had KLD fight night, I said, all right, we're gonna get in the ring, we're gonna fight, and whoever lose, you gotta change your name.
That's good marketing right there, man. That'll draw a lot of people, man. So so I like to ask a lot of people. You from New Jersey, right? Mm-hmm. If everybody don't know, man, how big are you?
I'm 6'8", about 365.
6'8", 365. If you don't know how big that is, he is a giant. He's a monster. You understand? I don't know how anybody can even think about, I want to try anything with him. unless you got that thing on you. You know what I mean? But so Jersey, you was always.
I grew up in South Jersey, so Philly, the Eagles, and all that. That was my team.
Oh, so you was close by. Oh, okay, so that's what's up, man.
15 minutes away.
The history.
So like Camden, and then like you had Woodbury and Deptford. So I grew up in that area.
Okay. So what about, like I said, growing up, were you always that big, or you grew that big?
In 10th grade, I had a growth spurt. I came back in 10th grade, knees was hurting. I came back like 6'4".
Really?
So like I remember 8th grade, I was like 5'10".
Jeez.
And then 9th grade, I was like 6'1". And then 10th grade, I came back like 6'4", 6'5". That was the big year, like the growth spurt for me. Shit, my ass had to go fucking to the doctors to find out what was going on. I was always hungry. My knees were real sensitive. When I stood up, like you get like motion sickness a little bit, like for standing up. It was a lot going on. That's called growing pains. So I had them shits for real.
You had them for real. Yeah. So were you able to play football at a young age in Jersey?
Not at a young age, no.
Did y'all have like AAU, or you was just too big?
I was too big. Like, so for my age group, I would have to play, if I was 9, I would have to play with like 12-year-olds. And they wasn't allowing that.
Right.
So I wrestled and I played basketball growing up.
Oh.
Started off wrestling, and then I got into basketball, and then was doing good in basketball. And then let's say my junior year, it was like tryouts was the day after our Thanksgiving game. I didn't feel like going. And they were like, well, if you don't come to tryouts, you can't play. And I was like, okay.
Right.
And I just stuck with football.
Stuck with football. So the football started pretty much in high school.
9th grade, yeah.
9th grade, okay.
And I played defensive end.
And you started off at defensive end, okay. So UM recruited you to be a DN or?
Convert over offensive line. So what I did is I went to a JUCO. I went to so I came from a small school in Jersey, and it was after signing day and everything, and somebody mailed a tape into University of Iowa. Random person who I never met, and they sent the tape in for our running back. We had a real good running back, and the guy Frank Verducci, who I still remember him because he ended up being in the league too. I never met him in person either.
Shout out to y'all, man.
Right, y'all help me. He was at Iowa at the time, and then he seen me on the film, and then he came to the school to see the running back, but he also was like, hey, well, where is he at? And then he came to me, he was like, we gave out our scholarships already, but you play defensive end, we want you to play offensive line because you'll last like a lot longer, people won't cut block you, stuff like that. And I can send you to a JUCO, on a scholarship for 2 years, and you'll learn how to play that, and then from there, we'll come get you I'm already basically signed with Iowa. I'm like, all right, shit, free education, I'll do it. Wasn't a lot of people from my area going to the league and stuff like that, so it was just like, I'm going to just play as long as I can. My first year there, I had to go against this guy who was a JUCO All-American who I was only like two. Like
so you're at JUCO at this time? Yeah,
now I get to JUCO. I'm like 240. I ain't never played left tackle. Now I got to get used to put my left hand down, all that type of stuff. Against a guy who's like a JUCO All-American going into his sophomore year who rang my damn bell every day for like the first like month and a half. But that was the best thing that could
teach me. It got you right.
You got to keep figuring it out.
That's so that's what I had to do.
And then when I figured it out, then that was it. That was it for him. I remember when I first like blocked him, and he got frustrated. Like, you gonna fight me? Like, yeah, I'm doing my job finally.
You mad now?
It was easy for you because I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
Then, plus, I was he weighed more than me. He was 260. I'm 240. Like, I started to feel
it's supposed to be the other way around.
I was 17 when I first got to college because my birthday in September. So I turned 18 late. Still feeling I wasn't no real weight program. Where I came from. So all that was a process. Yeah. So when I caught on, then that was it for him. And then he went on to go to Maryland and everything. So after that first year, I became a JUCO All-American. But then Hayden Fry was the head coach at Iowa. He retired. Right. So now that opened the gates for like everybody to talk to me now. So now I wasn't just obligated to go to Iowa now because they're all gone. So you see, everything with me was like timing. Like you see that was like
that's what I was about to say.
Somebody mailed something in, and then the man seen me, and then I went there, and then it was like got there, then he retired after my first season. Like it was like just all like crazy timing. And then so going into my second year, I was a JUCO All-American, and then Miami ended up becoming in the mix. Became between Miami and Arkansas. I don't know how, but at the time I liked Arkansas when I went on the visit. And my mom was like, "Are you crazy? Go to Miami." So I ended up in Miami.
You say timing, man. And like I said, I always try to say timing and things kind of worked out for me, you know, based on timing and situation. But what I'm kind of learning, man, is to be the power of the prayer for my moms, man. Without our mom, man, we ain't nothing, man. And that timing and them blessings is coming from higher power. Somebody praying for us, like you say, somebody sending in tapes out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, that's what I learned.
No,
man.
It's definitely that, because just the way everything aligned up for me, it was like it was already written for me to do and go certain places. So
right, no doubt. So I hear you saying you wrestled.
That taught me discipline. My mom had a motive behind everything. I grew up as the only child, so now wrestling was to teach discipline.
Right, yeah.
So I started off wrestling, and I was a big wrestling fan. You know, watching WWF and all that stuff. So I was a big wrestling fan, and I started out doing that for a while. Then she threw me in basketball as to learn how to work as a team. So everything was,
so that's one of my questions I see, because my mom and your mom used to hang out a lot. And I know I heard about your mom. I seen your mom around, but I never seen the dad. I never heard about the dad.
He was around, but not as much.
He's not as much.
She was more like, did everything.
She was the one like, you gonna do something. You gonna be right. You gonna have discipline. Yeah, he was more laid back. So mama ran the house.
Yeah. She's a Scorpio. I feel like a lot of Scorpio women are very like, kind of aggressive a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And he's a Cancer, so he's a little more like laid back.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's more aggressive, and she kind of knew what she wanted. Like, all right, you gonna get out here and do this, and this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
He'd be there. He'll come and see and just want to see, like, you know, what's going on. But she was like, I feel like she's more competitive than him.
Right. I met your mom, man. Yeah. They look just alike, same body type. She looked like she was a hell of an athlete.
Like she played basketball, and then she was a majorette when she was coming up.
Right. So you say, man, if you follow him, you see him tennis, you heard him say basketball, but you have all these talents. Such a big guy, man. He's very talented. If you didn't play football, what talent you think would have took over if it wasn't, you know, some other thing?
I feel like music.
Music is a talent for sure.
Not like far as me being an artist, but far as me being like a music exec and discovering talent and trying to put that together and put that out. I feel like that's something I would have definitely.
That would have captured you.
I was buying CDs and tapes, and I would play them and try to pick what singles was going to be next before they came out. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of being the A&R at a young kid and didn't even know it.
You was in that as a young kid. Wow, that's interesting. Wow, man, I didn't know you was into that back then, because I know you got to music older, you know.
And then I've been in it though.
I didn't know that.
When we was in school, like me, Ed Reed, Jared Payton, we all said we wanted to start a record label together. They were into music too. And Reed still talks about it here and there. Jared from Chicago.
Right, I know
but he more wanted to be like an artist, I think. And then Reed would DJ. He was at these parties. Right, he was at these parties at Pat O'Brien. Reed was our MC.
Yeah. He liked that stuff.
But yeah, but I actually got an opportunity when I ended up working with Pleasure P, is to really get into music, and that's kind of how I built like a lot of relationships with different people. Yeah. And then I've helped A&R different, you know, situations with like Trina and Kelly Price and Lil' Kim and Rick Ross and Young Miami and stuff like that. So I've been able to do that. And then Hitmaker kind of gave him an opportunity to start sharpening his craft as far as being like a writer and things like that. When he came to help me with my label. So I like music.
Yeah, I see.
I was the only person I always said, Bob Greasy reminds me, when he did that Nice and Slow song, I was the only person that was in the studio, because he records by himself, him and the engineer. Right. Just so happened I popped up that day at Server House, and I walked in there, and BB was like, "Oh, your boy in there?" So I walked in there. I'm like, "What you working on?" And it was that song. And then when it came out, he was like, "You know, you was the one that was, you know, this is the song I was doing." I was like, "Oh, that's crazy," because how it took off. But yeah, music is a big thing.
Big thing in your life, right? So you signed your scholarship, you moved to Miami. How is this whole Miami experience for you? Obviously, you done turned into a Florida boy. You ain't never going back.
You know,
you know what I mean? So you move, go to college, and you don't turn back. Yeah. How is this playing out in your head? Is this like overwhelming? It's like, wow, I can't believe this.
I'll be looking sometimes, like when I go across the bridge and see all that water, and I'm like, damn, I can't believe I live here.
Right.
Like coming from, you know, Jersey. You know what Jersey look like, South Jersey look like.
Right.
And then you see all this like nice stuff down here. You be like, damn, I really live here. Like I just be thinking about some of my friends in high school, like, damn. I really live down here.
So what's your?
But it's different here. It was a culture shock when you first get here too. You get on the beach, like the girls is topless. Like it's like a lot more things is acceptable here than it is a lot of other places, including Minnesota when I had a boat party. And I felt like that was like me just being around like Uncle Luke and them and hearing them say things like, don't nobody get their dicks like your party is whack. So it's like, oh, I keep that mindset like, I'm gonna make my shit lit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I try to take the energy to Minnesota.
Go ahead, tell it. The boat party. It was a boat party in Minnesota back in the day.
I'm gonna tell you what it is.
They try to say it was Fred Smoot. All you see is Fred Smoot, Culpepper, all those names.
Culpepper
is the party man right here.
Culpepper was an innocent bystander in that situation. I ain't gonna lie.
This, if y'all don't know B-Mac, we gonna get into it. This is the party man. Tell us about that boat party, man.
Fred did have a hand in it. It was 4 of us, and they got out of the 4. They obviously got in trouble. 2 of them didn't have nothing to do with it. That was Mo Williams and Dante. They ain't had nothing to do with it. Me and Fred did, and the other 2 got away.
Sorry, Cole. Sorry, pimp, man.
Right. But they pinned it on them.
So how did that all transpire? It's like, we finna do a boat party? So how we finna bring people in from everywhere?
You haze rookies and do all the other stuff and make them take you to dinner. We had did it the year before, just not on the boat. We was like, all right, you gonna just take however you came in first round, all that, and put a certain amount of money in, right? And then we're gonna use that money and bring, girls in town and, get the car services so nobody got to drive and just arrange it so where everything goes smooth. And then the year before we had a nightclub. So I was friends with the owner who had a club up there, and it was a night where his club wasn't open. We did it on our bye week and had a party in there just amongst us and whoever we invited. And then Fred Smoot comes the following year like, we need to do it on the boat. Now I wasn't there for this meeting, but it was like, all right, they just tell me like, we're going to do it. And then I found out it was a boat, and I was like, in October in Minnesota, like, why? And all whatever. So he handled the boat part. So even when the news came back to us that we might be getting in trouble, I was like, well, I know they signed a little NDA, so they're like, he ain't get a sign. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, that was the whole problem? Because that was my next question. Where did the trouble arise from? So nobody got there.
He was supposed to get a sign. He didn't. But where it came in trouble was because you had some staff on there. They were like 19, 20 or whatever. And they were just talking about it. And one of their parents overheard the conversation and sent the media crew down there to investigate the boat. And that party happened on a Thursday. And they still didn't even clean the boat yet. So they found like just different stuff from the party on the boat and tried to piece, stories together now. And it had a whole investigation. And you had people on the team like, I ain't got nothing to do with you. Why are you talking about me when you being in question? You know what I'm saying? Right. But Coach Stice, he was Italian, so he ain't played that snitch and stuff. So that person was off the team the following year.
Good.
Because he found out he came and told me who told, and then he got rid of them the following year. But yeah,
don't count being a tattletale. Like, that tattletale, hey, you think it's all good all the time.
The following year.
Tattletale gets you out of here, baby.
Yeah. So what asking you about you? Don't talk about me.
Right. So what was the cost of that party? What was the fines? How much more trouble?
I had like community service. You had to just do community service and couldn't get in trouble for like a year or something like that.
So y'all had like misdemeanor charges, like police?
It ended up being like misdemeanor because it was like lewd activities in public and something else, but it wasn't nothing. We had to take mug shots though. But
you gonna get me with the mug shot?
Yeah, but I mean, it ended up not being bad.
Right.
Whatchamacallit, Barstool, they did like a whole little like story on it. You gotta look that up.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
Animation. Fred Smoot was involved. They had reached out to me. I thought it was a joke because it was leading up to when the Super Bowl 2017 was in Minnesota, and I was like, what? And I didn't really respond to them. And then I seen the whole story when it came out. I said, damn, they put an effort into this. Like you even gotta listen to the narrator voice.
I gotta check that out. So that was the party, the Minnesota party.
Oh, what I'll say though is it brought us together, And we went on a 7-game win streak after that.
Okay.
So that was the purpose.
Okay.
Because we was losing.
So it did work.
It did work.
It did work. So let the coaches everybody know it worked.
So,
brought us together. We was losing before this.
We was like maybe like.
We just needed a little excitement in our life. You know what I mean?
Got it back. Went on a 7-game win streak. So
there you go.
It served its purpose.
So you get to Miami, right? Or you drafted. Y'all partying it that much in college, or how is it? Like you say, is it new experience for you? You being conservative? It's like, or you just kind of going with the flow? Yeah, in college.
After the games, yeah, we would.
So you getting used to partying, right? Because I'm leading up to stuff, you know. So you're getting used to partying and hanging out.
I'm gonna tell you what's funny is I got introduced to South Beach by Mario Cristobal. It was a guy named Hugo who was on South Beach, Asian, big bald head dude. He worked the door at Opium or Amnesia, whatever it was back then. Mario and him were friends. He was like, go to him.
And Mario's
now the head coach at University of Miami.
Right, okay.
But he was my offensive line assistant. He was the GA, O-line coach at the time for me in college. So he was one who kind of spent a lot of time like with me when I had like a big matchup. Like we'll sit and really study. But he introduced me to South Beach. And I met Hugo, and Hugo ran the door at like a lot of the popular clubs. And that's how I really... And then when people started seeing me a lot, they wasn't carding me no more. You know what I'm saying? Because they was like, well, he must be, because I always see him getting in. So then I started bringing like more friends, and then they just, was letting us in. Yeah.
If you don't know, when he played for UM, that's when when UM was on the top. I mean, they was producing legends after legends. I mean, everybody wanted to play for the U, man. They had the legendary teams. And he, he's telling us about how he got introduced to South Beach at that time.
So by my senior year, we were, because my junior year, we had lost one game, and then we played Florida in that Sugar Bowl, and we won. We beat Florida, but then we needed Florida State to beat Oklahoma. We would have split it.
Okay.
But Oklahoma ended up winning. So then the following year, whole mindset was like controlling your own destiny and things like that. We couldn't afford to lose one game. So when we got into those seasons, you had like, my senior year, we had like some crazy backups. Like, Portis was the starter, but then you had McGahee behind him. You had Frank Gore behind him. Like, you know what I'm saying? You had Andre Johnson.
So you was there? Because I got to bring, Frank coming on the show. Frank, you going to come on the show. But, so you was there when Frank was there his freshman year, and he was getting hurt. And then everybody else was getting those opportunities. Yeah. So I'm trying to let everybody
getting out of there.
Y'all understand, if Frank never get hurt, a lot of opportunities would have never came about. This man would have been one of the greatest running backs of college history ever, man. Like, this dude was gaining
He got hurt twice.
Twice, that's what I'm saying. He was gaining 10 yards a pop, like, doing unbelievable stuff. I was a fan way back then.
I used to watch it like, damn, he going up that depth chart. Like, he was coming up.
And he going to get some gangsters that running back.
I mean, Willis and Portis, you know what I mean? You had Najee Davenport there too.
Yeah, and Najee, Najee was kind of fullback and running back.
Like going back and forth. But it was him getting hurt that, was giving those guys opportunities. Clint left early, after that. And then that following year, he was battling Willis, and then he got hurt again. And then that gave Willis a chance to leave early as well. So that's God, giving, them they just dudes and making him just be patient and wait, but
everybody ended up making it. It was like 3 running backs, man. Like, who gonna play, who gonna start? But thank God it all worked out, man. They all made it. They was all able to make some.
But so you had like you had Roscoe Parrish backing up Andre Johnson. You had Kellen Winslow backing up Shockey. You had Sean Taylor backing up Ed Reed. You had like Vince Wilfork. He was backing up at the time. William Joseph. So
you had these names, one team.
But that's what I'm saying. So you had like Antron Roll backing up, Philip Buchanan or whoever else too. So you had all these young guys who was hungry, who was the backup, but they was still going in the games. Like, because Reed always would be like, all right, we need to be out by the mid-third quarter and let the other guys get reps. And playing so we had to make sure we had a good enough lead. And if you looked at our schedule, we beat everybody by 21 or better, except for I think like 2 teams, because we were trying to give them enough room to put them in by at least the fourth quarter and allow them to get reps. You know what I'm saying?
So this is what y'all planning before the game or during the game. You're saying, let's get it. We got to make sure we have enough lead every game so these young boys can get in,
get some reps,
they good too.
Yeah. And I remember we played. We had a makeup game against Washington, and we blew them out like 68 to something. and they vowed to never play us again. It was unsportsmanlike, but you got to look at it. Them guys want to shine too when they get in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As they supposed
Everybody
to.
you put in going to play hard. They don't going down the 40. My team, my family in the stand.
So they playing hard and they were scoring and all that. And then Washington was also the team that we lost to the year before. So that was a whole another mindset for a lot of us too, because that was the team that held us out. We lost them by 5 points out there in Washington. That's the team that kept us out of the national championship. So we play y'all again at home. We definitely got to put our foot on your neck. And then we want, the young guys to come in there and do the same things. And they did. So they said it was unsportsmanlike unsportsmanlike and all that stuff because we ran the score up, but who cares?
So now you're introduced to South Beach, right? Now you're drafted. You're the 10th pick of the draft, right? Am I right? 10th, 11th? 7th. Oh, sorry. Don't let me. 7th pick of draft. Left tackles, they're hard to come by. Great left tackles, you know what I mean? So you're the 7th pick of the draft. Now, you just went from broke to rich. Now, South Beach is at your demise, you know what I mean? So tell me, how does this experience go? Because I got a lot of questions about the South Beach. How does the first opportunity to go out here and do what you want to do and pop bottles filled and, how did that go for you?
I just feel like I was in a music video.
Huh?
I feel like I was in a music video or something.
Your first What club you was at?
Back then you had like Club Bed.
Well, first of all, let me reintroduce him. Before they was giving nicknames on the beach, this is Mr. South Beach himself. If you don't understand type of partying, type of hanging out, the type of crew he roll with, listen, man, this man go harder than anybody I ever seen in my life. Period. You know what I mean? So all the clubs back then. So tell us about one of your biggest nights. How many bottles you popped? How much money you spent? Give us one. There was
a night at Cameo one time. It was me and Braylon Edwards, I think.
Braylon, yeah, I remember Braylon used to go hard, right?
We used to go back and forth one time at Cameo, and you had Diddy on the microphone, like hyping both sides up, and it was like a bottle war. And then I felt like people were targeting me because then Larry Johnson came in the picture at one point, and then the theme music became a thing because now he played Rock Boys in the building tonight. So then I had him play. My bottles came out. Rick Ross, I'm the biggest boss you just seen. Hey, we started getting animated. As DJ Williams, DJ was like, one time Larry came in there and they had somebody like people with like real like a little mini band or something come and play that stuff or something like. DJ said the only way you can win this is if men come here and set himself on fire. Something he said crazy like, because it became like a thing now where it was like theme music came out with your bottles at one point.
Right. That was the thing. They was hyping us up. So yeah, man, Mr. South Beach. So give me your biggest tab. I had some big tabs. We all had some big tabs. Give me your biggest tab from just bottles at the club. Biggest,
it was on TMZ.
It was on TMZ, or I probably saw it.
It was All-Star, I'm going to say back in 2000.
So it was true that it was on TMZ, because sometimes we don't know what to believe.
It was true. They was tracking me down. I became friends with the people from TMZ ever since then.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a party that Rick Ross had, matter of fact.
Shout out to the biggest boss.
It was All-Star something out there in LA. It was in LA. And I don't know who it was that was boosting me up or what was going on, but yeah, I had a big tab that night.
What was it? Was it 200? 100?
It was 100.
It was 100? Jeez!
It was like, they bring out the bottles and like they in like a thing.
Yeah.
Like in LA they had like a big like thing. Had like 4 people or 2 people were carrying it. It was like a couple of those. And I got a video of Rick Ross kind of speaking on it too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So you spent the 100, huh? Just on club. They ain't talking about the flights, the hotels, none of that stuff.
It was called My House back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. It used to be popping too.
Yeah. I had some
I'm still friends with the promoter because now they do something called Highlight on Wednesdays in LA. So when I was in LA in August, I went and I ran into him.
Yeah. And that's important too, man. Like you said, you're going out, you're having fun, you're spending your money. It was important to make sure you keep those relationships and build those relationships at the same time.
They be looking out. Like, so when they see you now, it's like, oh, you did so much, and they comp a lot of things.
Right.
Like a lot
they
of
understand you
now
retired.
Comp,
It's different now. You know what I mean?
So like a lot of places kind of will comp things just for you just to be there. So.
Right. Based off the love that you.
And we didn't have no social media back then.
Right.
So it wasn't like you could post to be like, well, I'm hosting, I'm gonna be here. So it's that time. That times is different now.
So what's your favorite city, state, to party in back then? Like, what's your
back then? It was between. I liked LA a lot. I liked Houston, Houston, Atlanta, and New York a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Like you say, man, you got a lot of celebrity friends, man.
That all just be kind of spin-offs. So like, just meeting different people. Like Luke is how I met Trick. Trick is how I met Trina. Trina's how I met like Missy, Ellie, and a couple other people. Mm-hmm. I randomly met Pepper from Salt and Pepper at Opium. Mm-hmm. I think it was my junior, senior, one of them years, maybe junior year. We was about to go into a bowl game. We had like a little break and we went out to the club. And she had a table in the VIP section and so did we. Mm-hmm. So she thought we was older. And then she was like, we was in college, she said, how you got a table in here? Like, you know what I'm saying? She's like, you taking money from the people? I was like, nah. Like, they were just showing love because we was winning, you know what I'm saying? So you get your little section, whatever. And she ended up becoming cool as hell. We friends still. Nikki Beach, she like, well, meet me in Nikki Beach tomorrow. We went there, met her at Nikki Beach. Nevy was with me. And then it was like Iguanas down in Kendall. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, they used to have like Sunday night parties. So we met her at Nikki Beach early on Sunday. We was like, oh, you should come with us. Trick got a show at Iguanas in Kendall. Mm-hmm. And she like, all right. It was some hood ass shit too. But we was like, let's see if she gonna go. But little, you know, she loves shit like that. So she was like, oh, where we at? I like that. Like she liked that shit. And just been cool ever since. But yeah, just kind of just from her, just, you know, just different people. You just keep meeting people and then I call it the B-Mac experience. They're able to let their guard down and have fun.
I want to talk about Russell Wilson, right? All right. From the offensive standpoint, because I'm a defensive player, and obviously you protect him, right? You know, people say he's corny. You know, he's have his ways. You see him on the sideline, run a pass. You know, you see him floating around with his wife, and you know they the shit. You know, they look good. You know, how did you take that when you take all that away, and you're looking for your leader on the field? Is he a good leader from what you see, or how do you expect your leader to be on your team leading? You know what I mean?
I had different players who didn't necessarily have the time to how to lead. Like even when I got here to the Dolphins, Tannehill, I had to teach him things that I knew because I was older than him. And how to, you know, everybody look at you as the leader, so you got to, you know, kind of carry yourself that way.
Right.
And he just didn't know any better. Like he just was like kind of, whatever they tell him to do, he did it. But it was like, but you can also speak up. Like, don't think because you're young, you can't be vocal.
That's
you know
what
what
we
I'm
want you to do.
Right. And I think he just felt like, well, I'm young and everybody else is this, you know, older. Nah, speak up. You're really the leader. So it just depends. You have somebody like I had Brett Favre, who
gonna speak up.
Gonna change plays.
Gonna change the plays.
That the head coach give. Head coach try to get you to get out the game. You refuse to get out, so the backup is scared to go in because he don't want to. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's two different extremes. So it kind of just depends on, like, as long as he don't like the outside, you know, things, you know, with him and his wife, and I don't feel like he does. I mean, I've seen interviews where he says how much he spends on his body in the off season of keeping it healed and all that type of stuff. So I feel like he's doing the right things. I don't know how he is vocally, you know, and then he's on a new team too. So
right.
But at the end of the day, you're the quarterback, so don't feel like you can't speak up because that's. Y'all win, they're gonna praise you. Y'all lose, they're going after you. They ain't gonna worry about nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Right. Everything is looked at the quarterback. So I mean,
so from a distance, it look like he's all right. Like you could tolerate him.
I feel like in Seattle, he was definitely like the leader.
Yeah.
Here, I feel like
I'm talking about the new spot.
I feel like he's trying to find his way.
Right.
Still, like his role almost, like trying to get acclimated to the guys and not overstep his bounds too much. Yeah. When I feel like you the quarterback, so you can do that.
On. Well, right. Brady went right in there and blah 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 blah.
Brady got people out of retirement, told you who I need. This, that, other. They won a Super Bowl. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. People wonder. Like we was talking before we got on air, man, and it's like how people like Zunt, man. You too blunt. You know, you too real. This and that. But it's like
you got people that appreciate it though.
Right. People that appreciate it, and there's people that don't appreciate it or can't understand it. But it's like, you gotta understand my life. Like, I'm drafted to New England Patriots.
Yeah.
I'm playing with Tom Brady.
Right.
He's not Tom Brady yet, but we battling every day. And this is what I see. I see the leader. This is not. I didn't know he was going to be the greatest player ever.
Right.
But this is what I'm born into. So all this other stuff is obsolete to me. Like, you know what I mean? I can understand that because this is what I'm born into.
Yeah,
this is all I know.
to.
You know what I mean? So. Yeah, man, you know, you got different type of leadership skills, man, and you know, different people adapt to different people ways. So, you know, you got, like you say, you got to find your way. You got to try to get your teammates to love you.
When you look back at it, like, so who do you feel like the real GOAT is? You feel like Belichick is or Tom is?
3, 2, 1.
I feel like it got to be Tom. You know, it was a debate, and see, and I'm a little deeper with it because, like I say, I was there. So, as a leader, my definition as a leader, my leader is going to make everybody around them better.
Right.
A leader wants to see everybody do great. You know what I mean? A leader wants to see everybody be successful, whether he's making money or what. Belichick's not like that. He doesn't want to see. You don't see him pubbing none of his players up. You don't see him saying, "Oh, this player is going to be great," or you don't see this player's going to. You don't see him saying, "Oh, this player is going to make a lot of money." That's bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you here to take care of your family. We here to take care of our family. So for you to try to do anything to deter any of that, it's a problem. You know what I mean? So, like you say, I think it's Tom is the GOAT, and Bill, you still have to show that you the GOAT.
Right.
You got a chance. You got a chance to win the Super Bowl.
So he was getting like a lot of credit off of basically Tom's, you know, influence in the locker room. Because I feel like even when Tom got the Tampa, the defense even rose their play. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
But that's like a Brett Favre when he came to Minnesota. That was the best season we had when we went to New Orleans for the NFC Championship. Because our defensive side of the ball was good, but they rose their level up too because they didn't want to let him down, and then everybody around kind of rose their level up for Brett too. So
right. Yeah.
You have those certain players who is like a lot of respect and people don't want to let down and they want to raise their level of play up.
But that's what you hold. You hold that as a leader. You hold that accountability around you. Everybody don't want to let you down, or everybody want to match your level, your intensity. You know what I mean? Because that's the atmosphere I'm bringing. So yeah, like you're saying, but like it seems like it's like
I don't see too many quarterbacks now who possess that.
Right. Yeah. Not too many at all. You know, you had the Peyton Manning and Brady era. You know what I mean? So, but with all that being said, it's like for me looking at it, it's like if I'm looking at Russell Wilson and I'm not an offensive player, but I'm on a defensive ball. Like, bro, what's up, man? What you doing? Like, man, tighten up, man. Get this shit together, bro. Come, you know what I mean? All this faking or trying to force shit, man. Be yourself and man, get this shit together, man.
But that lets you know he's not that type of player, though.
Yeah.
Because on the defensive side, it would have made you feel another way. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So it'd have been a natural feeling, like I'm ready to go for this, you know?
Exactly.
Go all out, you know? So, I don't know if you heard, we got another situation where they talking about Tom, you know what I mean? Whereas I got a different perspective. You know, they're saying, okay, Tom doesn't practice on Wednesdays. You know, he left to go fly and be in the wedding for Mr. Kraft, and he misses practice. And they're saying that can be affecting the team, and from a leadership point, the players are looking at him different and stuff. What's your perspective on that?
Who get married on a Wednesday?
Right? I don't know. Maybe it was Friday he came back. I don't know, but they say he don't practice on Wednesdays or something like that.
Okay.
But it's a whole.
From a team, I mean, they probably might feel away, but at the same time, I feel like what else? I mean, he didn't see everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like it happens all the time. It happened one time, right?
I mean, I think it's a weekly thing.
Oh, just not practice on Wednesdays?
Yeah, he don't practice on Wednesdays.
He in his mid-40s now, so he got to recover. It probably take him longer to recover. Like, you know what I'm saying? That recovery not the same. When I was 34, I was like, damn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Compared to when you first get in there. So I'm pretty sure that recovery, you know, not the same. And for him at this point, it's more mental. So he can probably just sit back and take some, you know, visual snaps and let the young guy get some snaps in case something happened to Tom. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, exactly, right.
Yeah, so I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Right. Now, you see, and how I feel about it is pretty much the same. It's like, I get straight to the point. either you happy to have him, or he just leave and you don't have him. And you go figure out who you got. Then you'll be wishing you had him. So deal with it and figure it out. Y'all rally up behind him.
Yeah.
Or he just be gone and now y'all be trying to win the championship for the next 20 years.
Trust me, a good 95% of them ain't gonna make it to his age and still be playing.
Right.
To know what that feel like.
Right.
To be in your mid-40s and still out here playing football every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So
this is the GOAT, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He gonna...
And he here to help y'all make y'all better, make y'all more money, and make y'all look good. So
you know,
he's doing y'all a favor. He ain't got to do it at this point.
That's what he ain't got to do. It's like y'all got to
give y'all another ring, right?
You know what I mean?
Some things.
That's like if the CEO of Apple want to come by and talk to us. Is like, yeah, we gonna make it work because he want to come. He don't have to come do this. You know what I mean? We appreciate you coming down.
Increase our value. So
increase our value. Oh, yeah, man. With the left side holding it down, man. The original B-Mac, man. Salute to y'all tuning in, man. Say what need to be said. We out. The art of the interception.